you lack discipline and you lack self-control when you don't add any responsibility to whatever you do. When I want to say something, I say it. It doesn't matter whether I'm talking to the president, I'm talking to the board chairman of my organization. That is a lack of self-control. Okay. And even the Bible says that a man without self-control is like a city without a wall. So just imagine that your home, there's no wall there, and you have gold bars in there. I'm sure even if you heard a cat in the night passing there, you would be all thinking that armed robbers have come to your house. Okay. So that's why for most people, they will barely go and stay in a house that does not have a wall. Okay. Because if you can't control the freedom that you have. The Bible says that you are like a city without a wall. You're just there. Anything enters, anything exits. Anything enters, anything exits. Okay, so we need to know that I have the freedom to do this, but I'm not going to do everything because that is not my focus. Okay. And the second one is that we make bad choices. And those bad choices, I think Jesse has lifted a hand. You can come in if you want to come in. I see that somebody raised a hand. Would you like to come in? I saw a hand raised up. If you want to come in, please feel free to stop me, and then we discuss. I really do like interactive sessions as well. Okay. So I was saying that one reason that we have to match our freedom with responsibility is that we can make very bad choices. Okay. So a lot of people, they learn to smoke, they learn to drink, they learn to do all these things when they get into the universities, because your mother is not there, your father is not there, your mates cannot tell you what to do and not to do. So they cultivate a lot of habits that when they go out, it becomes a problem. For instance, I used to be a teaching assistant in the university, and for one particular hall, it got to a point where there was a craze for a particular model of a car. So everybody wanted to have that car, whether they could afford it or not. So they were dating older men to get that kind of car. And it got to a point, the car park was so full of that model that when they were going home, they couldn't take the vehicles home because probably their parents didn't even own that kind of vehicle. But then the student had it, only used it on campus. And then when we were, that time, the vacations were 3 months of vacation. They will leave the vehicle at school for 3 months, come back to school and start using it again. Okay. That craze to want to own something that you are not yet at that level for can drive you to do all sorts of things that are totally unnecessary. Okay. You could get HIV in the process. You could end up with probably your father's age mate that you didn't plan to do. And it could bring you so many problems. Okay. There were actually incidences where roommates fought over somebody. They were all trying to get to buy them a vehicle, and they thought their roommates also wanted the same thing, and it became a very nasty issue. Okay. So if you don't see that the freedom that you have now to make a choice on campus has to be matched with responsibility, you will make very, very harmful choices. And sometimes the choices don't look harmful now, but it could come up 10 years later, 15 years later. And especially now that there's internet, it's even worse because a lot of the things that we put online, we think that, oh, it's only me and my group of friends that are seeing this. Maybe you'll be the next finance minister. Maybe you'll be the next defense minister. And then somebody goes to bring up something you did when you were, what, 12 years old or something. And that alone could destroy your chances after so many years when you no longer do those things. Okay. So it is something that we need to take particular attention, that we have the freedom, but it also can give me a harmful effect if I don't control myself. And sometimes the bad thing is that it doesn't happen to you alone. You bring others into it. Okay. So I'll tell you another story from campus as well. There were two gentlemen that were bragging about who can make a lot of money from vacation work and all that. And then they decided to travel during their long vacation to go and make some money. And apparently one decided that, okay, I think to be able to win this bet, I would rather take some drugs abroad and then come back and show him that I made more money than he did. I don't know how he came by the drugs, but he ended up at the airport with the drugs. He was able to pass through Kotoka. But when he got into Heathrow, he was arrested and he was jailed for 10 years. His father, he was a second-year student at the University of Ghana. His father was a very prominent person who had started a very big business. And then now it became news all over that his father was a drug baron. So you see, he took his own choice. He has brought his father into it. And now a family business that was thriving became associated with drugs. But the father had nothing to do with drugs. But one poor decision has brought his father's business down, has brought the family name down. He didn't finish university. He ended up in jail. And then you are tarnishing a whole league, because if the internet does not forget, 10 years down the line, somebody can pull the story and say that you were in jail for drugs. So I don't want you in this particular organization. Okay. So every choice that we make, it comes with a consequence. Okay. So it is important that you know that it's not just about having what you want now. Am I ready for the consequences that comes in life with every choice that I make? Okay. And for some people as well, you may miss opportunities for the decisions you took some time back. There are some people that are extremely rude to anybody they meet. They might not even know the person, but they go out of their way to be rude. So there's also a story of another gentleman that was going to look for a job in the institution. When he got there, the security man was not at post. So he kept honking so hard. And then a gentleman came and said, oh, sorry, we didn't know nobody was at the gate, and started opening the gate for him. And then he started abusing the person. That what kind of incompetence is this? How can the gate be unmanned? How can he just fled up? Apparently he was talking to the CEO and he didn't know. Okay. So from the start of the interview, he was already out, because what kind of attitude was that? So he was assuming that the person who opened the gate for him was the gatesman, so he could talk to him just anyhow, because after all, he's only a gatesman, okay? But respecting people has nothing to do with what they do. And actually, most of the people who do these kind of jobs, if they had half your education, probably they could have done much better. Most of them, it's an issue of not having enough funds to go to school, or probably their parents not prioritizing education. So sometimes being mean to people just because you are above them is just not the way to go, okay? And that cost somebody a very good job, because they thought that, oh, this is only the security man. I can shout at him as long as I want. And this is an opportunity that you may not get again, okay? So every action that we have, we must know that there is a consequence, and then we need to measure that before we